Welcome back. I'm Anjanette Levy, and thanks for joining us this hour for our live Q&A lunch show about the trial of Lori Vallow Daybell. We're expecting closing arguments in the case tomorrow, but first, before that, at 3 o'clock Eastern time today, 1 o'clock, I should say, Mountain time, Judge Boyce and the attorneys for the prosecution and the defense will be going on the record to discuss what they've been talking about behind closed doors with regard to jury instructions. That, of course, is the roadmap that judges and attorneys hammer out to give to the jury. And this is basically for them to follow instructions when considering each charge and to follow the law. And sometimes there can be little additions made to these, sometimes not. Sometimes they just use a boilerplate jury instruction form, but we'll learn more about that later today. Cathy and Gigi will be in the courtroom for that at 3 Eastern, 1 Mountain time. And of course, we'll keep you up to date on what's in those jury instructions here on Law and Crime, on our YouTube channel, and on lawandcrime.com, our website. We want to get to more of your questions now. This one is from Facebook. It's from Patty Thiel Baker, and she asks, and I'll clean up the language here a little bit. Why the heck wasn't her niece, Melanie, also charged? She had full knowledge that Charles was about to be killed the night before he was fatally shot, but she did nothing. That's criminal. She was aware the kids were more than missing, but never alerted the police. Also criminal. She made a deal with the prosecution to testify so she wouldn't be charged, but weaseled out of it. So deal should be off the table. I call for her to be charged. So Cathy, that was a really long question, and more, you can tell Patty's upset about this. So do you have any idea why possibly Melanie was not charged?
People are really fired up about both Melanies, quite frankly, but Melani Pawlowski especially, because we see in text messages and all their communication, Melanie believed her kids were zombies. So she was okay that their bodies were going to die at some point. I mean, it's ridiculous what some of these women around Lori believed. And Melanie knew. Lori said it's coming to a head this week when it talks about Charles and the demon coming out of his body. Now, these women, Zulema and Melanie, they participated in these castings where they, stand in a circle and they try to cast out the evil spirits. So could be that Melanie just believed God was going to help them do that. But yeah, and she was here. She was here for several days to testify, and they weren't getting to her, and then the prosecution sent her home. I think she's a wild card. I think in the end they decided it was not worth putting her on the stand. Also, I don't know that she has any deal, so I'm not sure that's true, that she has any deal. I don't know. I mean, conspiracy charges, it's crazy when you read a text, and Melanie was so close to Lori that, I don't know. I understand why everybody's fired up about her, though.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, all four of us are mothers, and all four of us can maybe see at some point in time where our kids drive us crazy. That's part of being a mom, but these children, as far as we know, they were just children, like poor little sweet JJ. I look at that little face and I just can't even imagine. Gigi, you've been in that courtroom. I'm sure there are parents on that jury. Your thoughts on Melanie and her involvement or potential involvement?
We didn't really see kind of the depths of her involvement until after she was sent home. We had that FBI agent on the stand who read the text messages where Melanie acknowledges that her children are dark and she knows this is part of the Lord's plan. So I was really shocked that they let her go home. But I agree with Cathy. I think she was a wild card. I think she was very much under Lori's spell, thought Lori hung the moon. And so they haven't seen each other in over 3 years. And what happens when she gets on that stand? Does she clamor up and feel like she has to defend Lori? So I'm with Cathy. I think it was an emotional wild card. They didn't want to risk. They've got enough in there. And as far as charges, it could be one of those things where all signs point to yes, but can you get a conviction? And that's why Chad wasn't charged in conspiracy with Charles Vallow's murder, is because even though he was aware, there was nothing that they felt they could prosecute where they would get a successful conviction, so he had no charges. It could be the same with both Melanies in this case.
Yeah, we just don't know at this point, but it's a good question to ask, no doubt. We're going to take a quick break, so stay with us. We'll be right back.